Hi, folks. Today we're going to be exploring the concept of courage. What does courage mean? How can we be more courageous, taking a mindfulness approach? And I'm going to be explaining about the root meaning of the word and actually how it's misunderstood. So, my name is Shamash, author of Mindfulness for Dummies, and I'm exploring a different value every day. And today's value is courage. And I really like this word, courage, because it comes originally from the Latin core. Core. It means heart. Um, and that really is a really great definition of, I think, what the root meaning of courage is all about. Now, one of the misconceptions about courage is that it means fearlessness. And loads of people, if you'd ask them, what does courage mean? They would say it means having no fear. But actually, that's not correct because of we are all human beings and we all experience fear. And actually, courage is about taking action whilst you actually feel the fear. You've probably heard of the book Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. Interestingly, the lady that wrote that book, I think she wrote the entire book or the proposal for the book. She sent it to hundreds of publishers and none of them published it. And eventually she found someone or she published it herself. Feel the fear and do it anyway. And that's a great one-line summary of what courage is all about. It's about realizing that you are going to experience the fear, but you still have the courage to take action. Now, the reason why I really like the fact that the root meaning of it is heart is because what is going to be helping you to drive yourself to take action when you're feeling fear? When we feel fear, anxiety, stress, and all that stuff, we don't want to take action. We don't want to go in that direction. Um, but actually, we need to have some sort of motivation to go in that direction. If we completely continue to avoid fears, we end up living in a very small circle. And heart, in terms of mindfulness and in terms of everything, actually, it's about connecting with your values, and that those values will give you the motivation. I've been studying an approach called ACT, and through them and through loads of other research, what motivates people is meaning and purpose. And the way the meaning and purpose motivates you and drives you to action is through your values. So the more you can be clear about what your values are, it could be to do with creativity, it could be to do with kindness, it could be to do with justice, fairness, equality. Um, there's so many, there's hundreds of values, and you don't need to get your perfect set of values about what values are right for you. You'll have a bit of an idea. The fact that you're watching this video, you're probably interested in mindfulness, so maybe mindfulness is a value, or you like learning something new, so learning can be a value for you. But as you become clear about your values, they will give you courage because of you'll be willing to take action to fulfill those values. Let's say your value is learning and you like learning new things, but you feel a bit anxious being part of a group and the social dynamic of that. Well, hopefully, as you become clear about those values, you'll take action, you'll have courage, and continue to feel the fear and do it anyway, even though you may feel anxious being in part of that group. You may feel that you're not good enough, and still continue to take that action. And that's an example of courage. And there's many other ways that you can cultivate the courage, but that's the essence of it. The other thing that can help you with courage is, I would argue, your sense of your true self. This comes up a lot in mindfulness. Uh, in Buddhism, I guess they call it emptiness. In Hinduism, they call it Brahman. In psychology, they call it self as context. Actually, it's a bit confusing, but it's that sense of being the observer, being the witness of your experience. Eckhart Tolle writes about it a lot. And if you tune into your true self as awareness, that's the one. That's the word that's simplest, I think, for me. Then you realize that you are not your fear. There's you, and there's the fear, and there's that space or the gap there. And so the fear rises or comes up or comes down, but it doesn't really matter too much because it's not your true self. And that's easier said than done. But as you practice mindfulness and meditation stuff, you learn to step back from your thoughts and emotions. You get to observe and notice them and connect with them. But you also learn that space and that distance between them. And that can give you the realization that you are not your fear. Fear comes and goes, but you're the observer of it. Just like uh, the sky is not the clouds. The clouds come and go, but the sky creates the space for it. The waves rise and fall in the ocean, but the ocean is bigger than the waves in a sense. In the same way, you are bigger than your fear. So that can help to give you some courage, and having these values can give you courage too. The other thing I want to touch upon is the fact that when you fear something, it's actually a sign of something that you value. So there's a nice quote that comes up in ACT quite a lot, which is "You hurt where you care." So where you often feel fear and anxiety is something you really care about. For example, if you experience a lot of social anxiety and fear in social situations, that's a sign that you really fear social, you really value social connections. If you fear social connections, you value them. If you fear giving public talks, you actually value giving public talks. You think it's something that matters. If there's no fear there, you don't feel that it matters much. I had a lot of fear, I guess, at the beginning when I was first doing these kind of Facebook lives and YouTube lives because of it really matters. I want to make sure I share something that's valuable. I guess I want people to think that I'm sharing something that's useful for them. And so out of that fear comes the sign that, this is something I really value, something I feel that's a really important thing to do. I need to get it right. So I invite you all to cultivate more courage by tuning into your heart, becoming a bit clear about what your values are. Maybe I can do another session in the future. Let me know if you want, about helping you to clarify your values. But it's an ongoing life journey to find out what's valuable for you, what's important for you, and this can be the driver to help you to go towards taking actions that you fear. One other little quick thing that I want to finish. I've been studying, as I said just yesterday and today, the concept of Kaizen, which is about taking small steps. And so when it comes to courage, take small steps. You don't need to take the big leap. When you go up the stairs, you don't jump from the bottom to the top unless you're Superman or Spider-Man. So take those small steps every day, small acts of courage, and allow yourself to feel a little bit of fear, doing something that you value, and see what happens. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like more information or a weekly blog post which kind of brings together the most kind of popular Facebook Live or YouTube Live that we did, the one that had the most engagement, then if you sign up to our newsletter on my website, shamshaldina.com, then I'll send you that every Wednesday as well. Thanks a lot for watching. Have an awesome day, and bye for now.